The flat was tucked inside a dilapidated warehouse in Hackney, a place that had once smuggled fake luxury handbags, but now served a different purpose: information laundering. Zoe pushed inside, the smell of damp wood and stale cigarettes hitting her first, followed by the unmistakable aroma of coffee and burnt toast. She was hungry. A single tall floor lamp flickered softly, its pale light stretching across the room and casting long, jagged shadows on the walls. The small space was cluttered, creating a chaotic contrast to the stillness of the man within it. Rafael slouched in an old, creaking chair, his posture relaxed, yet strangely tense. One boot was lazily propped on the table, the other dangling loosely from his foot, as if he didn't care whether it fell off. His arms were folded across his chest in a defensive stance. Still, his eyes, sharp and calculating, were fixed on something beyond the room, distant and focused, as if unraveling the threads of some hidden, dangerous puzzle. Rafael wasn't someone who blended in easily. Tall and lean, he carried himself with an effortless menace, as if he was always aware of the space around him, aware of who was watching and who wasn't. His dark hair was cropped close to his skull, a few days' worth of stubble darkening his sharp jawline, giving him a rugged, lived-in look that did not quite match the icy precision in his blue eyes. His skin was pale, though his hands, long, calloused and quick, spoke of hours spent in front of screens, manipulating data, or navigating the shadowy underworld of the city. A tattoo, barely visible beneath the rolled-up sleeve of his shirt, peeked out, a faded reminder of the past, of things better forgotten. Rafael, black market investigator, hacker, fixer of inconvenient truths. He was a man who operated in the grey areas of the law, someone who knew secrets too dangerous to reveal. But those secrets, like everything about him, remained shrouded in mystery. It was never clear whether he was truly loyal, or if his allegiances shifted with the rhythm of the tides. His silence was part of his currency, his knack for knowing exactly when to speak and when to let the shadows do the talking. When he noticed Zoe, his lips twitched into a smirk. "You're early, Blaise." Zoe ignored the greeting, tossing a USB drive onto the table. "Decrypt this. Now, please." Raphael's eyes didn't leave hers, though his smirk deepened. He leaned back, stretching, the faintest glint of amusement flickering in his gaze. "No pleasantries? No, Raf, how have you been? How's your completely illegal business?" Zoe folded her arms, unwavering. "You want a tip? If you want to continue enjoying certain protection from the Count, here's one. Work faster." Raphael's eyes narrowed, the smile never fading, but there was something different about him now. Something more charged, like a volcano waiting to erupt. "Your way or mine?" he asked, smiling, his gaze sharp, as if measuring her in a way no one else ever could. It was a challenge, but one that seemed heavier than it should, as if there were stakes neither of them had fully named. Something unspoken lingered, a shadow hiding beneath his words, his movements. It was something Zoe couldn't quite place, but something she knew would make this entire transaction feel like the beginning of a much darker game. She met his eyes. "Please, just decrypt it, Raf. This isn't a negotiation." But even as she uttered the words, she sensed the presence of something far more threatening in the room. Whatever Rafael was, and whatever he wasn't revealing, it was obvious he played by rules that weren't her own. Rafael rolled his eyes, but plugged the drive into his heavily encrypted system, fingers tapping across the keyboard. Seconds passed. His smirk disappeared. The screen filled with classified reports, chemical sequencing charts, and redacted documents. But one name stood out boldly: Seraphim Phase 2. A. Live Trial Site, Adriatic Sea Facility. Zoe's eyes lit up. There it was, the location, the facility where they were already testing this. But what kind of facility was it? Was it truly at sea? Or was it on the coast? Or even near the coast? Which country? Rafael glanced up at her. Shit, Blaise. What the hell have you walked into? Zoe straightened. Something that needs to be burned to the ground. She reached for the USB, but Rafael placed a hand over it. Hold up. He studied her, his expression earnest now. You don't just walk into a cartel research facility, not unless you want to come out in a body bag. Zoe met his gaze. Then I'll make sure I don't come out. Rafael exhaled. You're insane. Zoe slid the decrypted USB into her pocket. No, Raf, I'm just running out of time. She turned towards the door. Behind her, Rafael's voice followed. You're gonna need backup, Blaise. Zoe paused. I know, Raf. I know. She stepped out into the light, her next move already taking shape.